let's get into the running backs here. And, of course, the conversation is definitely going to involve Saquon Barkley, unfortunately. But we're done talking about him in the show, but we're back to him here. So, starter-wise, by far the worst starter, at least listed on the depth chart. I'm going to say it this way. We're using the depth chart of ESPN for right now. Things can obviously change on rosters between now and starting, and none of those rosters are official. It's too early for the teams to give an official one. But Javonte Williams is considered the starter on the running back room there for the Cowboys right now. Last year, 139 rushes, 513 yards for 3.7 yards per carry average, 4 touchdowns, 52 catches, 346 yards, 859 total yards overall. Not very good, guys. Let's be honest. It's kind of crazy that they lost Rico Dowdle that we said was not a very good running back, and everybody pretty much said that across the NFL landscape there. And somehow they've gone down. You know, it's they got a couple of rookies. We'll get into those in a little bit there, and obviously they're hoping for some big things out of them. But yeah, that's it's not even a close race. Like, it's the obvious fourth place here. Number 3 for the Commanders, Brian Robinson Jr. in 14 games, 187 rushes, 799 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, 20 catches, 159 yards, and 958 total yards there. Now, listen, Brian Robinson Jr. is what Brian Robinson Jr. is. And I don't even mean that as a negative thing. I like him, actually. What he is he is a guy who just keeps on hitting the hole over and over and over again. He's the consistent guy who's going to get you 4 yards carry. He's never going to break it for 50 yards or 60 yards or anything crazy, really, except when they played the Giants last year because their own defense was that crappy. But that's what he is. He just keeps on going forward. He moves the chains. That's what he is. He's an old-fashioned running back, and there's still definitely room for that in this league. Number 2, Tyrone Tracy Jr. And it's nice that the Giants get at least somewhat close to the top here. 192 rushes last year for 839 yards, 4.4 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns, 38 catches, 284 yards, and 1 touchdown. It's 1,123 yards there overall. So, again, great rookie year by Tyrone Tracy Jr. I think he is clearly better than the 2 we talked about previously, though slight closeness to Brian Robinson Jr., but I think the catching abilities would really set him apart there between those 2. So, yeah, I do think that he's got a little potential to even lose a spot here with Cam Skattebo, depending on how things go. I think week to week even might change who is the running back there. That's considered the starter, or the bell cow, so to speak, there. But for right now, because he's got the 1 year of experience, you got the ability now to go ahead and have a young running back in here now who's shown you a lot that rookie year. Hopefully the line is healthier, because keep in mind he dealt with a lot of banged up issues on that line. And he's got the potential to do something special there. He really does. I think he's going to be a decent running back for the Giants for a lot of years. I don't think he'll ever be the Pro Bowl caliber or the guy that we're going to talk about in a minute here, but I think he's a guy that is that above average running back that can have a decent, nice, long career there. That, of course, leads us to the last one here. Saquon Barkley, obviously, clearly the number 1 receiver, number 1 running back in this division here. 16 games last year at 345 yards, 2,005 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns, 33 catches for 278 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's 2,283 total yards on the season, guys. Amazing year. Like, we can't even say otherwise. Point blank, amazing year. As much as Giant fans, some of them hate to give some props to Saquon. Again, we've said it before. He had no contract offer from the Giants. Stop hating. But, again, you look at what happens. This is what we talked about before with Jalen Hurts. Look what happens when you put talent around players. It elevates them. We were talking just, a year ago about how Saquon's losing a step and Saquon's not as good because we saw with the Giants. Well, now you put him with a great offensive line. You put him with an actual passing game so people aren't just stacking the box against him nonstop. And look what happened. Amazing season. Like, absolutely amazing season there. Congrats to Saquon on that. He is clearly, again, the top running back on the NFC East there. Now, if you go to the backups, and again, there's some rookies here in this group, and that's part of the equation. It's hard to try to figure out what you're going to say to some of these guys here. But number 4 is going to be the Dallas Cowboys again. You got Miles Sanders, who hasn't done anything since he left Eagles. You got Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa, the rookies, and that's it, guys. There's nobody that I can sit there and go, okay, this guy has potential to be really good in this league. You know, those 2 rookies, again, we weren't necessarily that high on those 2 to begin with, but they're late, round picks. You can't count on them. Now, could they be good? Listen, every single year there's a guy who's a late round running back that all of a sudden, goes a little crazy and ends up doing something special. That's always a possibility. But you can't count on it. And that's what the Cowboys seem to be doing here. They seem to be counting on one of these running backs just taking off and being really good. Miles Sanders, again, hasn't done jack since he's left the Eagles there. So I can't trust on him really to do anything. Is he a competent backup? I mean, he's backup with some NFL experience. It's not the worst thing in the world there. But I can't sit there and say that he is the same Miles Sanders he was a couple years ago. Again, what I said, product of the Eagles offense. This is what 100% Miles Sanders was. He left that system, he left that offensive line and everything they got there, and became crap. Commanders with 3rd place. Now, this was a close one with them in the 2nd place here. Austin Eckler, obviously, the consummate veteran, perfect complement to Brian Robinson Jr. because of what he is. He's a perfect 3rd down back. He's a little bit more of a speedy guy there. Good pass protector as well. Again, a nice 1-2 with there. I do question, what's left in the tank there to a certain degree with him there. He's had the injury issues, obviously. He's on the wrong side of 30 now. He's officially, turned 30 years old now this season. So, I'm not sure how much is left there, but at least for this season, he should be a good compliment still to Robinson as he was last year. Then they got Jeremy McNichols and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who is the rookie running back that, again, late round pick, nothing you can really count on for anything crazy, but he's an intriguing pick. Like, if I had to pick between him, Jaden Blue, and Phil Maffa, I would take Ja'Cory because I think there's a lot more potential there. And again, that's the key word, potential. I'm not going to sit there and say he's going to be great there. I'm not going to say that he's going to be even on a roster. He's probably boom or bust, but at least there's a boom potential at that point. That's the fun thing about a boom or bust. There's a potential. So 2nd place, we got the Eagles there. Will Shipley, A.J. Dillon, Avery Williams. This is a good, solid backup group of running backs here. Some NFL experience, obviously, with A.J. Dillon, who's had a nice long career. Will Shipley is a guy that we liked coming out of college there. So, didn't get a lot of chance to do much. He only had 30 carries last year with the Eagles, but I still think he's a better player than what he's able to show there. And, part of that is what happened with with the Giants and Barkley. Barkley is a guy who gets a lot of carries. You don't tend to get a lot of carries to back up with Barkley in the backfield. Now, if Barkley gets injured, which, not even a wishing injury on him per se, it's so hard. Like, I want to root against him because he's an Eagle. I also don't want to hate on him because he is an ex-Giant, and I don't blame him for leaving. But what it boils down to is Saquon has an injury history. If he goes down, can one of these guys do something here? Will Shipley is the guy. If I had to pick out of these 3, Will Shipley is the guy that I would say actually has the potential to not, I want to say, take on Saquon's job fully. Because I don't think any of these guys can do that. Be very clear. I don't think anybody in the entire NFC East could take on that kind of job if they had to. But I do think he can be adequate for a couple of games. And that's more than I can say for guys like Miles Sanders, even Austin Eckler, who I don't think could be a workhorse back right now if he got called on to do it. I think he's just too far up there. That leaves number 1. The Giants again winning for backups. It's like we got some depth here, and it's hard to say who's going to be the 3rd name on here, but the first 2 are obvious. You got Cam Skattebo, and you got Devin Singletary, motor here. Now, again, I know Motor's a guy that there's some rumors that he might get cut. I don't think he's getting cut. The contract says otherwise. But I do think that Devin Singletary, if you had to look at this list, and if he's probably better than every single other running back on this backup running back. Obviously not better than the starters, but he's probably better than every single backup running back on this list. And I don't even think he's the top backup. I think Cam Skattebo is going to be. He's got some potential to like make it a 50-50 split there, like I said. I think no matter who is the third, whether it's Tyrone Tracy, whoever at that point is the third running back, I think the Giants clearly have the best backup running backs in this division. Now, I'm not even including Eric Gray, by the way. He needs to be gone. He needs to be gone. Needs to be cut after the camp's done at that point, barring any injuries. But like I said, I got Giants number 1 for that. So that puts us at, for the scores, Eagles get 11. They win again. Giants get 10. So we got second place. Commanders 6, and the Cowboys bringing up the rear at 3. So this is easily the worst position group on offense for any NFC East group. I feel like is this the running back group of the Cowboys. Absolutely pathetic.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the Goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please.